Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pick City Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Zackery.
I'm Teddy Yeller.
All right, and we have big things coming. All right, it is football
Big
season.
things.
That's why we are doing our football pod.
No?
Soon come.
Go Birds. Go Birds.
Yeah, just a Pick City update as a whole, as the podcast network, channel, whatever you want to call it. We will be having football content coming soon. If you like listening to us, great. If you want to watch, fine. But at least follow along. Follow us on Spotify and YouTube as of now. You're obviously listening on one of those platforms as we speak. Nowhere else so far. Lots of content to come, but unfortunately, we do have to talk about baseball. I mean, thankfully, we can talk about baseball today. And for those of you that reached out about where's the Phillies and Reds pod, it didn't happen. It wasn't being a coward. If anything, like Eddie could have been the one to make sure we get it done.
Look,
with the Phillies, but
I'm still excited about baseball at least. I understand why you're about though.
in all
We'll get
seriousness,
to that.
I am very excited about baseball. Love baseball. This is a great time of year where you really start to really feel how you believe in teams. And Teddy, what do you think a good way would be if people haven't read the title of this or understand what we're doing at this point every 2 weeks? How would you kind of say what teams are the best right now?
Power rankings.
Yeah, Pick City Power Rankings. So here we go. We're just going to jump right into it. I'm going to throw it over to Teddy, and he's going to catch it for a touch. Okay, sorry with my football
Go Birds.
jargon. Facts.
All right.
Yeah, I will make this as a promise to all you people. There will be another baseball pod before the next Power Rankings, okay? Promise.
So, yeah. You call it a bi-weekly? I've always been really bad with that kind of terminology. Bi-weekly? Like once every 2 weeks?
That is correct.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if it meant like 2 times a week.
Well, no, it's like, that's true. That
English not, yeah. Sorry. All right. Anyways.
You're going to go?
Why would I swing before you throw the pitch?
Oh, I'm not pitching yet. I'm ready for you to get going.
Number 1, New York Yankees. Tom. Number 2, we got the Los Angeles Dodgers. Number 3, Baltimore Orioles. Number 4, my Philadelphia Phillies. Let's go, baby. Number 5, Atlanta Braves. Number 6, Seattle Mariners.
Step off.
All right, that's 1 of 2 disengagements. Number 6, we have the Seattle Mariners. Number 7, we have the Cleveland Guardians. Number 8, Houston Astros. Number 9, Texas Rangers. Number 10, Minnesota Twins. Number 11, Tampa Bay Rays. Number 12, the Chicago Cubs. Number 13, Milwaukee Brewers. Number 14, San Diego Padres. Number 15, Arizona Diamondbacks. Number 16, Toronto Blue Jays. Number 17, Kansas City Royals. Number 18, St. Louis Cardinals. Number 19, San Francisco Giants. Number 20, Detroit Tigers. Number 21, Los Angeles Angels. Number 22, Boston Red Sox. Number 23, dude,
I was going to stop you.
I've been doing mine this whole time. Yeah. Well, there's my power rankings.
Dude, I tried to stop you at the beginning, but I was like, am I on the wrong thing? What's going on?
What in the world? Why did you stop me?
Dude, I was so confused. I'm like, wait, am I
1 through 30. You ready for this? This is going to be speed running. All right.
Yeah, let's go! I threw a ball.
All right. 1 through 30 is going to be speed running. All right. No location names. This is an awful start to this. Jeez. This is what happens when we do this once every 2 weeks. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
Does that mean bi-weekly? All right.
Twice a week. 1 Yankees, 2 Dodgers, 3 Phillies, 4 Orioles, 5 Braves, 6 Guardians, 7 Mariners, 8 Brewers, 9 Rangers, 10 Twins, 11 Cubs, 12 Royals, 13 Padres, 14 or 15 Astros, 16 D-backs, 17 Tigers, 18 Giants, 19 Blue Jays, 20 Red Sox, 21 Cardinals, 22 Mets, 23 Angels, 24 Reds, 25 Nationals, 26 Pirates, 27 Rockies, 28 Athletics, 29 White Sox, 30th Marlins. That was I'll be honest, that was a shit show.
Now, a good
that's
podcast,
on me.
We would have reset it, we would have restarted, we'd edit it out, but no.
We were only 4 minutes in. We could have reset so easily.
Oh, yeah, trust me, I could have. No. Sorry, sometimes you got to look like the idiot. And those of you that are not subscribed on YouTube, you missed our battle of pitching. Yeah. All right, I'm going to start with this pod, okay? And we're going to go a little non-conventional here because these are the teams that don't get any love. But since we had a rocky start, let's start with the 2017 in our power rankings. the Colorado Rockies. Now, Teddy, you made an interesting point. They've had a better past 2 weeks, but ultimately, we believe they are who they are.
Yeah, I
Correct?
mean, the thing about the Rockies is while they've been good, you can't ignore the fact that they're still a very bad team. And that's the big thing about just MLB in general is even the 30th place team, which we have the Miami Marlins, all those players are getting paid to play. They're still, you put them in any college team in the nation, and they're going to be a bona fide star for that team.
Ooh. Speaking
Yeah,
of college baseball coming out, I'm down to discuss, do a little prediction of what we think is going to happen once the regionals are set. So,
I actually have the Penn Cornell game lined up to come on right now, just so you know. But yeah, I mean, there's still professional baseball players. There's still that like 0.1%, in skill. And so every now and then you're going to have them come out and sweep two teams in a row, especially two teams that are pretty good. The Rangers and the Padres, like those are definitely above average teams. And so the Rockies, I mean, they kind of have found something these last 2 weeks, kind of like how the Athletics did the 2 weeks before these last 2 weeks.
correct.
But we also saw how that evened out. The Athletics, they went 2-12 since we've done our last power rankings.
Yeah.
They've come back down to earth, and I expect the Rockies will too.
Now, for those of you keeping score, and I'm sure we'll add to this list, we both have declared the Marlins, White Sox, and Rockies all dead. Teddy went on record adding the Angels to that group. And at the very last second, for those of you who listened to the end, thank you. I've declared the Athletics dead when they were hot. I want credit for that. You don't have to give it to me.
I'll give you credit for that.
Teddy, in the bottom 10 teams here, so from 21 to 30, basically, is there any team you want to kind of talk about, or any team maybe you want to go ahead and dead them? I wore the shirt to represent the dead. Shouts out to Sid.
Just out. Well, I'll say this. You were on it before me, even though I deaded an additional team than you with the Angels. I am prepared and ready to dead the Athletics.
Okay.
Oakland Athletics, dead. Just, they're not good. That was a fun 2 weeks. Mason Miller's he's absolutely incredible to watch. He's so fun. It's like must watch for a closer, a rookie closer. That's crazy. But
It
Athletics,
really is crazy.
dude, I mean, like, the Athletics, the players can try their hardest to win all they want to, but realistically, like, the owners don't even want to win. They're not going to put pieces around them to succeed. If anything, Mason Miller, he's not going to be on this team past the trade deadline. He's their best player.
All right, so here's our first topic. Do you think Mason Miller will be traded?
Absolutely. There's no way a team like the Athletics is going to hold on to him.
I do not think he will be.
Really?
Really?
I think that they could, because of how good he's been, they could get such a great return for a relief pitcher that, like, it's not like it's some breakout position player that you can't, replace. Like, I'm not saying you can replace Mason Miller, but, like, you can get a perfectly average bullpen arm, especially for that team, to come in and do their job and, like, still get a great return for Mason Miller. Like, just keep adding prospects.
I didn't ask you, should they?
I think they will. The ownership completely hates the Athletics, so why would they want them to succeed?
That means they shouldn't trade him.
Then they should trade him.
Or they wouldn't trade him. They won't. I'm betting
No, they will. Because they want prospects to come in that will be ready to take over once they move to their new city, which who knows where that will be.
All right,
because Las Vegas doesn't even want them.
One of our first bets of the year. You think Mason Miller will be traded? I think he will not.
All right, put it on the board.
Yeah, but make sure we keep up with this. Okay. We have a couple rivals in this. We'll give them a quick little talk. The Cardinals and the Mets, also in the bottom 10 of the league. Of course, our least favorite teams in the league. These teams they're not consistent in any way. They obviously lose more than they win. I just wanted to talk about them because we basically probably haven't, I would assume, besides when they play like our teams. The Mets have lost it. If you have something on either of these, go ahead. But
I mean, I'll just say the Mets and Cardinals, to me in my power rankings, I don't have them near as close as what you have. just because I have the I don't. It's one of those things that I think there is for both of us kind of what's the opposite of bias? Well, I guess it still would be technically bias, it'd just be like
Correct.
negative bias.
Yeah.
Again, guys, I'm not smart. Like, I have the Mets a lot lower than most people probably would. You have the Cardinals a lot lower than most people would. Like, it's just how it is. I don't think the Mets is a well-run organization. I definitely don't trust the pieces that they have. And according to our power rankings, and I truly do believe it, like, the Nationals are more of a threat than the Mets are. And you saw what my Phils just did to the Nationals.
Yeah,
And sweet, baby.
I'll say this about the Cardinals. I think they're just not good. They have some really, really bad performers from people you thought that could be even standouts this year. And like the third, I know this isn't the overall stat. I just use this one delineating. I don't know what I'm saying either.
I don't even know what that word means. God.
Deciding between the two. Anyways, the Cardinals have, I think, the third worst run differential in the National League.
Yeah, and again, the reason I moved them up, or not moved them up, but the reason they didn't fall as much as I guess you would consider with how much the Reds fell for me, like we were talking about before the pod, is that these last 2 weeks, the Cardinals have had a better last 2 weeks than what you would. Like, it's weird. It's like they're still not good, and I definitely don't believe they're good. But like,
I just wanted you to talk bad about the Cardinals.
They give enough life. I will talk bad about them. I mean, against the Mets, they lost 2 of the 3 games. Well, the third one wasn't played, but they lost 2 of the 3 games against the Mets, and I think the Mets are trash. So that tells you what needs to be said about the Cardinals. I think in the NL Central, it's a 2-team race. I do. I think that it's not like the Pirates are only 4 games out from the Cubs, but the Cubs are getting better. Pirates are obviously not. Penn just hit a 2-run home run. Bottom of the first, top of the first.
Yeah. All right, Teddy.
Something I don't like watching the Ivy League people, especially while I'm talking about how like not smart I am.
Don't speak bad about my name. All right. Let's go through I have this next little section of teams 12 through 19. I have one team I want to speak about. Well, I'll let you choose first in these power rankings. What team do you want to kind of pull out and discuss? Because,
well, I mean, the Brewers not the Brewers. Sorry, the Royals keep climbing.
Yeah, respect to Kansas City. I'll say
respect Kansas City. Respect the Royals.
Luckily for them, they don't play much in football season because that's whenever I will not want to talk anything positive about Kansas City.
Right.
I respect that.
No, I respect that.
Same. I mean, the Royals are playing good ball. Again, had another good 2 weeks. They're 10 games above 500 in a league where a lot of people were losing.
Yeah.
They just keep finding ways to win. Now, there still is some skepticism, which is why they're a little outside the top 10. But hey, good on the Royals. Anything?
Yeah, I mean, the Twins had that storming 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago or whatever. And they're still sitting 4 games behind the Royals. Now the Twins have struggled these last 2 weeks. But, like, the Royals need to be respected. And, I mean, we need to look at our preseason rankings again. I'm pretty sure I had the Tigers over the Royals, and I did not. Okay, never mind.
No,
but
I did.
We
were flipping
I had them closer. Yeah. But, like, respect the Royals.
Yeah.
I know that we haven't been respecting them, but I hope people finally realize that we are respecting them.
Yeah.
So I wanted to shout them out for sure. Yeah, so, I mean, a plus 55 run total, by the way.
Yeah, dude, and I will say this about the Royals. I mean, all 3 of the fans that will ever hear this pod, congrats. I want to talk about the Blue Jays real quick. Down goes the
Blue Jays.
This is a team we both had as the third best team in this division.
Yep.
And
easily the worst team in this division.
And not only worst team,
looking at it.
This is kind of praising the Red Sox as well, who are just in this tier. The Red Sox have dealt with just player after player going down, and somebody steps up, and look, they're right at 500, but the Red Sox have kind of, if you told me all the things that were happening to the Red Sox this year, I'd say they've overperformed.
However, I would 100% agree. I think that when healthy, we weren't expecting the Red Sox to be this good. We weren't expecting them to be this good if they were completely healthy.
Yeah.
Dude, their pitching is ridiculous. Tanner Hawk and Cutter Crawford has just become like if you had the All-Star game right now, those two, what are they, the 1 and 2? Not really, but like
Yeah, that's a little
they
too
would
much
definitely
to it.
be in that starting five. Like it's kind of crazy. I know, respect Tarek Skubal, but
Yeah. What the heck was that?
shouts out
And
Red Sox. I know you wanted to talk about the Blue Jays, but when you
well,
said something about the Red Sox, I had to throw flowers. They have been so,
yeah,
impressive,
it's
honestly.
weird that like I kind of thought the Blue Jays would be kind of like the Red Sox, where they were going to hit enough, but then the Red Sox were more like the Blue Jays. Dude, I don't know what's happening. I know this. I've not watched the Blue Jays play since the first week of the season and thought anything other than that's not a playoff team. They're just not.
They're not. I people might get annoyed that I always bring stuff back to the Phillies, but it's genuinely
We're getting there. We're working our way
my
up.
mind with baseball is like, oh, like anything Phillies related, I bring up Phillies. Like that's been like night and day, just thinking about the Phillies. But we split. We only had a short 2-game series with the Blue Jays, and we split. And watching those games, it was like just this is not the Blue Jays I was expecting going into
Hey,
this year with
maybe
Bo, with
maybe Alec
Vladdy.
Manoah found something. He had a good start. Finally.
Finally, well, I mean, shouts out David Schneider. He's been electric.
I will
He
not.
he was a Who player, but he's been electric. Danny Jansen also, he's exciting.
Danny's hype. I will say
Danny's
like
actually
any of
taken
those.
over the starting spot from Alejandro, which I bet you weren't expecting because you drafted Alejandro.
Yeah, that was kind of a necessity thing. They were always going to be close, I thought.
Yeah, but I mean, Vladdy's doing pretty well. I don't think it's
I'm not doing it.
anything
I'm
to
not doing it.
I don't think
I'm
it's
not.
anything to blame for him. But I'll say it, Bo Bichette.
Boba,
Can we declare players dead?
Boba.
Yeah, Bo Bichette. I'll say
Well,
it.
he's in a bad slump. Teddy, he.
Horrible slump. Look, I understand slumps, but come on, my
No,
guy.
I'm not calling him dead. That's great. He's been at the top of the American League in hits like the past few years.
Okay. How many
He's
hits does
not
he have
just.
this year?
He's been bad this year. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna dead a guy because of a bad.
I just like the idea of declaring a player dead. That was it, really.
I mean, R.I.P.
Man.
Tyler Skaggs. All right,
Hey, at least he doesn't have a negative WAR. I was expecting him to have a negative WAR.
we were doing so good, Teddy. I'm sorry.
I heard the Tyler Skaggs comment.
All right, let's do. Where I knew you were messing up was when you said Mariner 6. I'm like, wait, is that Guardians? And then I got real confused, but because they were flipped last week, so that's why I was like, wait, maybe he's just reading last week's. So then I was going to tell you, hey, you're not reading this week's, but then you were all over the place, so I don't know what was happening. With that being said, this next little tier, let's go from 6 to 11 here.
Okay, shorten it up.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the top 5 deserve the reshuffle they get because they're all still in the top 5.
Right. I mean, we kind of touched on the Twins, but the team I really want to talk about is the Milwaukee Brewers. Well,
Yeah.
they're in your division. Why don't you go ahead and talk about them?
So I have to talk about another team in this while talking about them as an NL Central fan. I believed in the Cubs' roundedness this year, and I believed that the Brewers could be good. I had the Reds see a little higher. But the reasons I was skeptical of the Brewers is just like they can't just keep doing the same thing. Teddy, guess what? They're not doing the same thing. They're
Doing
different.
better.
They've changed their identity. They're just a better team right now. And I'm going to say right now, I know that their record's very close. And I mean, the Cubs have some electric parts, especially they have Imanaga, who. Did you see his.
Imanaga has been incredible.
Did you see there was a ERA plus stat that he has the best to this point in the season of anyone ever?
All time is first. I think it was just his first 9 starts. I don't think it's like of a season. I think it's just because he's a rookie. I'd have to look at it.
I think it's to this point in the season ever.
Really? Because I thought when I saw it was for a rookie, which it would be also if it was just point blank period. But
I mean, dude, he's insane. Which I mean, rookie is anyway. Don't even start on that tangent.
I know. Hey, I got on that when we were doing our awards.
Yeah, I picked them. But the Brewers, to me, the Brewers are, and we'll get to the top 5 teams in the league here in a minute, in which 3 of them are in the National League. But the Brewers are that fourth team to me. They're that team that could take down one of these top three teams in the playoffs. They have the pitching. They have the depth.
Yeah.
They have the they play. I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna don't lose my credibility with this as a Reds fan. They play a version of baseball. And with Rhys Hoskins being out for a little while, I'm like, maybe they'll lose their edge a little bit. And Teddy, if you go back to our first pod, I said I was very worried when Rhys and Jeff McNeil had their first altercation. I literally said it makes me concerned that this Brewers team might be a little different. Have that dog in them.
Since then, Brewers stock way up, Mets stock way down.
Dude, the Brewers.
I'll just say that.
Yeah,
it's like a hockey fight. The momentum shift.
I love watching the Brewers play baseball. I just want to say,
Dude.
I don't know what it's something like. I don't even know the right word. It's just if you're a baseball fan and you know what I mean. They're not going to be the flashiest. They're not going to. And I mean, again, I want to shout you out for this. You created this propaganda that I hated the guy or thought he was bad, but Christian Yelich has outperformed any metric I could have thought his ceiling for this year so far.
Not propaganda. You did say that he sucks, but yeah, he's been incredible. Also,
on the tape.
Oh my gosh, that's great to say whenever it was just over a phone call and not recording, and it wasn't even text message. We only have text receipts. You can say anything over a phone call, huh?
I could say you said anything over a phone call. He actually scared me.
All right, so Milwaukee Brewers are only 2 games ahead of the Chicago Cubs, and I know that they just lost a 3-game series to them like 2 weeks ago. But eyeball test, the Brewers are electric, and they're just a better all-around team to me than the Cubs are. Like,
Teddy?
Shota Imanaga is not going to keep doing what he's doing. He's still going to be good, but right now he's being like a generational pitcher, and that can't continue, right? The Brewers, they're going to get Reese back. Jerkson what the? Whoa. You had to rewind and take that away. Don't know where he came from. But, like, Willy Adames is... People were talking about, where's he going to end up playing? Is he going to get traded? Dude, if the Brewers are going to not run away with this division, but maintain control of this division, look like a strong candidate and a sneaky choice to get into the, like, I'll say it, World Series, not even just the Championship Series. Like, why would they move pieces? I know it's like Brewers culture that they're going to move, like, their better players and stuff instead of paying them.
Look, like, I'm not being disrespectful with
this. They're kind of crazy.
And I don't fault the guy for it. It's weird that, like, Craig Counsell got all this praise of, like, he was stealing some of these wins for the Brewers. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just the Brewers.
Then again, maybe he's doing the same thing for the Cubs.
Hey, I fed into the whole Craig Counsell, like, train, like, you know, leaving the Brewers, joining the Cubs, like, that whole dynamic shift and everything, but...
I do think it's good for the Cubs, but I want to say this.
I do too, but I thought it was going to hurt the Brewers more than it has.
Yeah, I mean, for the Brewers' sake, I will just say, if I was a team facing the Cubs or the Brewers in a series, I'd much rather face the Cubs. Unless even August pitching is a guaranteed loss. All right, again, we have Mariners 7th, Guardians 6th. Guardians just keep doing their thing. AL Central's back, man.
Dude,
it's good.
Mariners just keep doing their thing. Mariners, it's weird. They're in, like, leading their division, not comfortably, but, like, the Rangers haven't been looking good, and so my favorite out of that division right now is still the Mariners, which, don't look now, but those Astros are storming back.
I think it was just when they played the Twins. I think that was a series. I was just like, I don't know if I'm as in on the Mariners as I thought.
They're just they have an identity, and they will not move from that.
Imagine if their best player played decent. No, seriously, think about that.
Just even a little bit. Was he the, like, AL MVP front runner, like, going into the season? Like, was he, like, the better's favorite?
I don't know if he was the favorite, but he was definitely in the top 5.
He was definitely one of the, like...
Yeah.
Oh, like, if he just gets back to slightly below average J-Rod, the team will look way better. But they're still 3 games over 500, and their pitching is just... We knew their top 3 was going to be stupid, but it's even extended past that. Their bullpen's even been good.
Maybe they just... J-Rod can only have one, like, great half, and they're like, do it for the second half this year. I don't know.
Yeah, just save all your power for the second half.
Speaking of the best player on a team not performing well, but the team still is good, and if he gets going, watch out. They've been struggling a little bit. And fifth, we have the Atlanta Braves. And for all of our Braves fans, this is the lowest we've had you consensus, lowest I've had them personally. They're just not impressive right now. Now, Austin Riley being a little banged up. They have, Zach Short stepping in, Zach Short, you want to look up a weird transaction list, go to his roster page. The Braves are still the Braves. I'm not going to overreact. But if I was a Braves fan, I'm not. I'd have my yellow flag, I would have got it out of the case. I wouldn't be putting it up yet. I wouldn't even have it attached. But I'd be getting it out of the case.
It's not on your nightstand.
That's
I think it's on your. I think it's on your dresser. I think it's past the case. I think you open your case, you're looking at it, and you put it up on your nightstand. To
no,
put
I
the
haven't
case
got it
away.
out yet. I haven't got it out.
I think you take, and I only say that because Acuna. What's happening to Acuna? And I saw something. I saw stats online, and it was something out because obviously last year, an incredible year last year, like one of the most impressive MVP campaigns of our lifetime.
Yeah.
Like,
and he capped it off with a great post. Sorry. What were we saying?
Good feels.
Sorry.
His strikeout rate, it seems high this year. Like, it does. But his career average, this is just career average for him. Last year, it went down, and I don't know the exact number, so if this is wrong, don't kill me for it. I'm pretty sure his strikeout rate has stayed, for his career, around 23%. Every single year, except last year, it was 11%.
That is
I'll say this. Braves fans, y'all can come at me because obviously I'm a Phillies fan, and I want to be inherently negative towards it. But,
stand on it.
Last year for Acuna was way more of an outlier than what's going on right now. It is. Just look at his stats. He has an ISO below 100 right now. His ISO is .093. That's embarrassing. His play last night, embarrassing.
I'm not going to make you do this because you're just evaluating how he's been playing. Right. But I do want to ask you, do you think he turns it around? You're saying this is last year was more an outlier. So how do you think he shapes out this year?
He'll be better than what he's doing right now.
Well, I mean,
he will be better than what he's doing right now. Yeah, it's hard to get worse than this.
I do have, but
I don't think it's going to get to the same levels as it was last year. I think that we've seen enough.
I mean, that was a basic. And obviously, he's not going to have one of the greatest seasons ever again.
Yeah, obviously he's still a really good player, a player that I would take on the Phillies yesterday, any day of the week. It's hey, please come start in right field, especially because we have a right fielder that's one of the worst players in baseball. Yeah, we'll get to that. He's still a really good player. It's just last year, I just had to emphasize how much of an outlier last year was because it truly was the most impressive campaign of our lifetime, I would say, without thinking too much about it. It's actually incredible how he performed last year. And so people are looking at this as what's going on with Acuna? You look at some stats, it kind of just, doesn't surprise you too much. But he's still young. He's still going to get better, which sucks for me and my fandom. But
you backed off a little. That's fine. Yeah, the Braves struggling. But again, they're struggling. We're talking all this. We still have them as a top 5 team.
They're struggling. They're going to be in the 9 games above 500 while struggling.
Yeah, and these other teams are 10 games over, and we're praising them. It's fair.
Right, but like I said, the panic button is not for the team. It's for Acuna. That's what I'm saying. It's not for the team. It's for Acuna because even with him not playing well, and then Austin Riley not playing at all, they're still 9 games above 500. They're still an incredibly good team.
Yeah, they have talent everywhere, and have talent everywhere. I don't know if they have depth, but you don't have to when you're that talented necessarily.
Right. I hate that Chris Sale has become a really good pitcher for them, by the way.
He won't. All right. Nope. All right.
Yeah, say it. Stand on it. You told me to stand on it. I stood on it. Stand on it, Zackery.
Well, no, this isn't a hope. I'm just telling you this. Okay. I'm just going to tell you this, but don't put this part on the pod, okay?
Okay.
There's no chance he makes it past All-Star break healthy. All right. So
the worst about
Phillies, we have them third. We just kind of talked about it. Teddy, I just have a question for you on this, and then we'll
Besides the Phillies
Phillies
bar 2 players.
let me tell you if you've heard this.
Or
Well, the
3.
Phillies
But
are
yeah.
playing well and they're doing great, but they only have 3 games over a team that is above 500, so it's really not that impressive.
My gosh. 4.
It's a bad way to start the argument, but go ahead.
We're 4-2
What
if we get teams
would you
above
want?
500.
Would you want to respond to that at all?
Yes. So I saw this quote. First of all, strength of schedule arguments are just really dumb to me. I would never understand them. People will only make those arguments when it favors their team. They'll never want to acknowledge them when it goes against their team. It's just dumb. Everybody plays the same schedule nowadays. Besides, you play more games against people in your division. And if you truly, truly believe it's that big of a factor, then why are you even worried about it right now anyways, if it's all going to even out? I mean, we swept the Padres, and we see what they're doing to the Braves right now. But anyways, I think that if you were to take away all the losses to the Phillies from the other teams, there'd be plenty of teams that would be above 500. So I think we're just beating the brakes off so many teams, but so many teams are below 500. But no, I'm not worried about it. I think that when you watch this team play and you're not just looking at the standings and looking at their schedule or whatever, you see that it doesn't matter who you're putting in front of us. Like yesterday when we played the Nationals, we beat the brakes off the Nationals. We were playing against Mackenzie Gore, who's had a very good season so far. One of the only bright spots for the Nationals, and we were tearing him up. So you could have put Chris Sale on that mound and it wouldn't have mattered.
So does it
yesterday with the way we've been performing. And we've been doing all this while starting the worst right fielder in Major League Baseball. And playing Whit Merrifield too much, who has also been dog water. Absolute dog.
Does it bother you that people say this, or it's more just you just judge them?
No, it doesn't bother me at all. I more just judge people who talk about shape of schedule. I think it's a weak argument. I think it's more of an argument for football. Go Birds. I think it's more of an argument in football
As someone
terms.
who's on a football podcast, no, it's dumb, especially when it's based on strength of schedule from last year.
I'm saying it makes more sense based on that
When they played last
for
year?
baseball, because not every single team plays the same schedule.
But it's who you're playing. Are you talking about at the end of the season when you're seeing wins? Or you're talking about projecting for the future?
No. I'm talking during season. People are talking about our strength schedule because of the teams that are above 500 that we played or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just it's dumb. You're projecting that off of, when we're playing teams, we have 6 series sweeps right now. Take those series sweeps and you do a 6-game swing and say that we got swept or whatever, those teams are above 500. It's just, I don't know. It
sounds like it bothers you a little bit.
No, not at all. Because it's a very weak argument, and I don't pay any attention to people who really, truly are Phillies aren't good or Phillies aren't impressive because of their schedule. It's okay, we'll just bounce a. I was gonna have to stand on business again, talking some crap.
For what it's worth, I just think it's a dumb argument in general. Nothing to do with the Phillies or other fans. People love to hate when teams are good.
Speaking of 4-2 against teams over 500, and you make it 14-2. I'm not going to stand up here praising my team anymore. Just how it is.
All right, you can do that more on the Phillies pod. Sorry, y'all. I just had to get that out there. Phillies do come in third. In second, we do have the Dodgers. They flip. And then our other 2 we have are from the AL East. We have the Orioles at 4, and again, the Yankees at 1.
Yankees at 1.
I want to say it's about the Yankees. We were both very high on them. The Garrett Cole news came out. We didn't back down. We said, you know what, we're going to keep them. And the Orioles are playing well, don't get me wrong. But the thing about the Yankees, the number one thing, it's not Juan Soto starting to mash the ball. It's not Aaron Judge heating up after being a little slow. It's not that they have these young players who are being productive. It's not that Clay Holmes has become an amazing closer. It's that their pitching is so freaking good.
Dude, who's Luis Hill? Where did he come from?
Who is anyone on this team?
He's just this rookie that they just...
Have you looked at their bullpen at all?
Threw out there. Yeah. Their bullpen... Clay Holmes is insane. He's one of the best relievers in the game. But Luke Weaver, shouts out him. He's been on fire. I think that the the difference between the Yankees and the Phillies is like I need to be careful because I am very high on the Phillies, and the Phillies do have the best record in baseball. But like it's that top end talent where you have like Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, like they've been doing really well. Judge got off to a slow start, but Judge is doing Judge things now. You wanted to talk about the .093 for Acuna for his ISO? Judge is at a 312, which is insane. Like, it's that top end talent. I think that throwing in Anthony Volpe with the year that he's having into like and creating that kind of like big three for the Yankees just shows how impressive this year's really been for them so far and why we have them as a consensus number one in our power rankings.
I mean, when you have Volpe and Verdugo lugging almost 400, like, as just a bonus to your team.
Dude, Jose Trevino.
No, he's good.
What?
He's good.
But offensively, we did not think he was going to be this good.
He's not. He's got that grit. But, dude, it's easy to hit in that line. Not easy, obviously. Of course, it's the hardest thing to do. It's so much easier when the whole team around you and just, like, all right, so here are the non-biased. I watch the Reds the most. Doesn't it bring me happiness? And then the Phillies, and then the Yankees. Like, I know everybody doesn't watch a bunch of games to our argument earlier. They just see the record. Well, they haven't played anybody. Shut up. Everybody plays everybody. Anyways. Yeah, like, here's the thing. I do think the Orioles could win a series against the Yankees. It comes postseason. You don't know. You have pitching matchups. But right now, there's no one in the American League I would take in a series over the Yankees. I know that sounds silly, but there's a difference in just winning games right now or like setting up for a series.
Yeah.
They beat you. They don't let up. They fight. And the Orioles, are just they're right there, but they're not them. They're just not. And so we do have the Orioles fourth. We've reached about where our time was, Teddy. Is there any major takeaway you want to have of our power rankings? I am so excited for new stuff to be coming out soon. Y'all just be ready. Stay tuned. I'm about to have a lot more free time as well as I already do. But
yeah, well, I just wanted to glaze the Yankees a little bit more, just in one more aspect. Half the teams in this league cannot buy a good catcher with fielding and with the bat in his hands. And here are the Yankees with two of the best catchers in the league, which we would not have said before this season.
That is true. I would not have said that.
Trevino and then the backup Austin Wells have been it just like it's a small point to just make the bigger point of the best teams in this league have depth. And then you have the Yankees, who are consensus number one, and not only do they have just regular depth with pitching, still no Garrett Cole, by the way, not only do they have depth with their relievers, Loaiziga and Tonkin have not got it going. Clay Holmes we expect to be good, but then Luke Weaver just stepping out of nowhere. But they even got depth at freaking catcher. What is that? Like, I just wanted to glaze the Yankees a little bit more. What they've been doing is truly, truly impressive. And yeah, I mean, they deserve the praise. And if there was a team to take over that number one spot in our power rankings over the Dodgers, who have still been very good, by the way. They've had a little slip up, but swept them.
What was that?
I said they swept the Braves.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I just wanted to give a little bit more shout out to the Yankees. Just out.
Yeah. Yankees, Dodgers, Phillies, Orioles, Braves. I think then there's a break, and then you could mix around those next grouping of Guardians, Brewers, Mariners to me. But I'm excited. Yeah. Let us know in the comments what you think. And as much as I love y'all, I would rather you send me something than not, or send the Instagram page something. Comment it. Put it on there. Let's get the numbers up. Like the video. Okay? Like the video now, even if you didn't like it. If you made it this far, you're obviously probably one of our friends or family, or you came across this. We got to be more consistent. Y'all got to be more consistent. Let's do it together. Let us know what we got right. Let us know what we got wrong. Teddy, I'm gonna make a graphic for these, and that might get some interaction. So,
all right.
Yeah. Shouts out to all the listeners. Shouts out to everybody. Teddy, shouts out to you.
Shouts out to you. Exactly.
If the Reds lose one more game or one more run, I may actually. All right. I think that's all we have time for. I'll let you have the final statement, and then you can send us out.
All right. Yeah.
We're gonna end it with something. You want to dead anybody?
Well, earlier I did dead the Athletics, and I want to stand on that.
True.
So, what are my updated dead? That's the Rockies, Athletics, White Sox, Marlins, and the Angels, correct?
Yes, and so I have those 4 except for the Angels.
All right. I'm good with that 5 for me.
Okay.
I'm still good with that 5.
Oh, I
You
want
don't
to
want to
dead.
dead anybody?
I want to dead another team. Yeah.
Who do I have dead that you don't? The Angels?
Angels. Yeah.
Oh. Well, Mike Trout went down for the year. It was like, oh, that is obviously, we know how this is going to go.
Yeah, that was an easy
Look,
dead.
you felt really confident about the Blue Jays earlier. Go ahead. Dead them.
The Blue Jays?
Yeah, you won't.
You're right. I won't. You tried to get me to dead the Astros last time. We didn't even really talk about them.
I just wanted you to dead the Astros. I definitely did it.
I think I'm going to dead a team I shouldn't dead.
I think you should just do it. I'm looking at a team right now who's probably going to be the next team I dead, but I'm not going to do it yet.
If I dead a team, you promise not to dead them? We'll both be at 5 deads?
Yeah.
All right, drop a comment. Let us know who you think is dead. Teddy, give your final comment, and I'll tell you who I'm deading at the end of this.
All right. My final comment is just, yeah. Thank you for listening. We enjoy just talking ball. And I know there's a lot of Braves fans that watch this, so please don't hate me too much. It's
They already hate you.
That's true. Just understand as a Phillies fan where I come from. Y'all have won, what, 6 straight division titles
Hey,
from
don't
us?
look at me. The Reds suck. I don't mean that. I love you
played
guys.
before.
Shouts out Tyler Stevens starting to hit the ball hard. You're talking about big catchers, and I'm glad I have him on one team. Hunter Green shouts out.
Hey, he's
not
my
a
fantasy
Reds
catcher.
All right, ready?
Well, our fantasy. But yeah. Dead
All right.
Zackery.
Our Pirates, you're dead.
All right.